Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Canterbury, nice to see you. I was a little confused about some of your answers to Senator Lee, so let me just see if I can achieve some clarity. The organization that you have been president of has been an advocate against constitutional carry, which is a right that the people of my state voted for. It's in our state constitution. A dozen other states enjoy that right now in their constitutions in order to defend themselves. Would you tell me what your individual view is on constitutional carry?
Senator, thank you for the question. First of all, the National Fraternal Order of Police has never opposed constitutional carry. What we said was that we would like some modicum of familiarization or training. What we did support was the reciprocity bill for concealed carry because those all have some modicum of training.
And what about your individual view?
My individual view, I believe in the right to bear arms and the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
What about constitutional carry in your view?
I believe the constitutional carry is a state-by-state issue, and I know that a number of states have constitutional carry, and I believe that's their right to decide that.
Will you commit to me then that you will not take steps as director to limit Missourians' right to exercise their concealed carry rights?
I believe that right is governed by the Missouri General Assembly, and I don't think there would be any enforcement rights for ATF in that.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to this question about the federal ban on certain semi-automatic rifles back in 1994. Do you personally support that ban today?
Senator, I didn't support the ban in 1994, but the membership of the Fraternal Order of Police voted that way, and as their elected spokesman, it was my responsibility to voice that opinion.
Would you commit to me today that you won't attempt to implement any kind of restrictions on the sale of legal firearms through ATF regulation? Because you do, as Senator Lee pointed out, if confirmed, you would have head an agency with significant rulemaking authority. It's really a policy-making agency in many ways. So would you commit to me that you will not use that rulemaking authority to limit the sale of legally available firearms to those who are legally entitled to purchase them or sell them?
Senator, I'm not really familiar with the regulatory process, but I promise to look at that immediately upon, if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed, and working with the Office of Legal Counsel, with the Department of Justice, and with ATF, we would make sure that all of the regulations that we pass would be just and fair and legal.
Are you saying that you're not, when you say you're not familiar with the regulatory process, you're not familiar with the ATF's rulemaking authority? Is that?
I'm not familiar with the rulemaking process. I am familiar that they have the ability to formulate regulations, but I've never been involved in that aspect of their operation.
In my view, much of the best work and much of the most important work the ATF does as a law enforcement agency is cracking down on the illegal theft and use of guns in our communities. And in conjunction with DOJ, for example, ATF has conducted strike force in St. Louis, in my state, to get illegal guns off the streets and then to prosecute those criminals who use those guns. As director, will you redouble the agency's efforts to participate in those operations and focus on getting illegal firearms off of our streets and out of our communities?
Senator, the primary mission of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is to reduce violent crimes. One of the best ways to do that is working with our state and local partners. The crime gun strike forces have been very successful based on media reports, and I will do everything in my power to continue that enforcement effort, because as we know, the enforcement on street level illegal weapons has a great effect on the reduction of crime, especially in the inner cities.
Thanks for that. You have referred several times to your firm commitment to the Second Amendment. I thought I might just give you an opportunity to say, in your view, what you believe the scope of the right is that's protected by the Second Amendment. This has been the subject, obviously, of some dispute. I think it's fair to say there's probably quite a lot of disagreement on this committee. So what is your view about the scope of the rights that are protected by the Second Amendment?
Senator, I believe that any lawful possession of a firearm, provided, however, that all of the adjudicated issues are favorable, I believe every American has the right to own and possess a firearm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.